Welcome to AudioVisione, our weekly look into the media and the AI world here on Centrale Milano, 1575 kHz on the medium wave and Radio Nizza. I'm your host Marco Ugo Barsotti. Let's begin with the debate on analog versus digital broadcasting. Here is what the mainstream media tell us. The DAB radio is better as the sound quality is much superior and the system is much more power efficient. At Newsline, we even interviewed a BBC researcher that created a memorable report on what the most energy-efficient way to distribute audio content is. As expected, the result was DAB, and here is a link to the study. You can find the link in the article on audiovisione.com. Buried in the original report, there is a statement that's certainly worth reading here on Centrale Milano. Listen to it.
According to the results of the research, FM had the highest levels of energy consumption, claiming around 31% of the total energy. AM had the lowest at 8%, while DAB had about 20%.
Not all platforms were used equally, and this particular figure did not take into account the usage of each individual platform, with DAB and FM having a much higher listening share than other platforms. So yes, maybe if you divide the total power used for transmission and to power the receiving device, maybe AM is no longer the best option, but as we conscious consumers know, we can change that. Just power up your old or maybe brand new analog battery-powered radio set and tune it to 1575 kHz. You get music, news, comedy, and you'll consume virtually zero energy, which, as we all know, is good for the planet. Let's move on to AI. In a blog post titled Evolving OpenAI Structure, which can be found on the OpenAI website, the company announced to the world that our for-profit LLC, which has been under the non-profit since 2019, will transition to Public Benefit Company (PBC), a purpose-driven company structure that has to consider the interest of both shareholders and the mission. The background story is this. OpenAI was founded by Sam Altman and Elon Musk and a bunch of others to fight the risk that Google, already controlling search, would control AI as well. After a few years, Musk left the company, probably in disagreement with Sam Altman. After the unexpected success of GPT-3, nobody expected it to work that well, but this is another story. And after the success of ChatGPT, talking about December of 2 years ago, OpenAI acted more and more like a closed AI and also a for-profit company. Last year, they announced the split into two entities, a non-profit and a profit organization, both called OpenAI. The non-profit would do the basic research, mainly towards general artificial intelligence, while the profit will sell models, services, and applications. However, this was seen as going against the original mission of the company, as several legal actions were initiated. So last week, they pivoted to non-profit plus benefit organizational structure. And here is the point. Many people think that a benefit company, a concept that exists in Italy also, is a sort of a non-profit, but not so. A benefit company is just like any other company. The only difference is some nice words in the mission, such as saving the planet or contributing to inclusion and so forth. We have such an example here in Italy. As stated in another interview for Newsline, the LifeGate organization that used to run a very interesting and powerful radio station on 105.1 MHz in Milano transitioned to benefit themselves. And here's the catch. When LifeGate started an crowdfunding effort, they needed some 2 million euros, they sold C-class shares with no voting privileges. B-class were also available, but no or A-class share were on the market. So one of the questions that we sent to LifeGate CEO was, what are the differences between A and C-class shares, and who currently owns A-class share? They declined to reply to the question. So much for the transparency of benefit company. They might benefit the planet, but for sure they are there to benefit. They are real owners too. So this is all for this first edition of AudioVisione. I hope you like the format, hope you understand what I'm saying. Stay tuned, and for the time being, thank you and goodbye.